There we go. Hey folks, it's Pat here. Welcome back. If you've been here before, we're doing something a little bit different today. Today we are going to do a live stream, first of all. I've been doing a lot of that for my job lately, and so I kind of like the way that it works. And then the other thing is that we're going to play this game here, which is Silent Hunter 4 with the Fall of the Rising Sun Ultimate Edition. I love submarine games. I didn't know this one existed for the longest time because I hadn't played a bona fide submarine game since maybe the first Silent Hunter or Aces of the Deep. And so I just kind of forgot about the entire genre for a long time. And then last year when we went on lockdown, I started poking at this game, but it ran like crap on my laptop. And now I've got a brand new sexy computer here that will do all the things. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm using barely 0.5% of my CPU to play this game. Which goes to show how freaking old my laptop was. But I want to do a submarine game because they're one of my favorites. And then this one in particular with this mod, I've only played this mod for like an hour, and I just fell in love with it because it made this game beautiful. So, but anyway, let's get started here. The setup for today is we're going to play as the USS Swordfish, leaving out of Manila on December 8th, 1941. So the war is brand spanking new, and Manila's going to barf out all these submarines, and we're going to see where they send us. Before we do that, we got to do some setup here. So let me show you the gameplay settings that I got. I got them all set to realistic here. Let's put this on realistic here. If it'll let us. There we go, realistic. But I want to leave this one off and this one off. The game is free. I mean, there's a couple of YouTubers out there who play it without this. I don't know how you guys do it because you are way smarter than I am. So, but we're going to leave this one on because we want to see things go boom. But the rest of it, yes, all the things. We're going to turn all of those on and keep them that way. And then let's check out our boat here. So here she is, USS Swordfish, SS-193. Had a very long career in the war and had the distinction of being the very first submarine, American submarine, to sink a Japanese ship in World War II. We'll see if we can actually live up to her name. So we got a 3-inch pop gun on the back here and a 50 cal machine gun. We might as well have spitwads against airplanes. So we're not going to be fighting any airplanes today. So we could use this to commit war crimes, but not shoot down airplanes. We got no radar, so if any airplanes show up, we are taking her deep, man. So because that's one thing that even in the base version of this game that you learn very fast is airplanes are the only things that are truly dangerous to submarines. Airplanes, mines, shallow water, and destroyers, kind of in that order, with destroyers being a distant fourth. So especially early in the war. But let's just, we got no other upgrades, so we're going to leave the boat as the Lord intended her. And then this one here, this is our crew, and this is a heavy crew for what the Swordfish actually had in the war. I think she sailed with about 60 guys, but you can move these guys around a little bit. But these guys right here, they're chiefs. These are officers right here. These are petty officers, and these are able-bodied seamen. So we're going to stick a couple guys on our deck gun here Who's got the better gun rating? You got the better gun rating, so you get the deck gun. So bring some guys with you. 36, 32, 35, 36. He's pretty good. We'll put him on there. He's pretty good. We'll put him on there. You suck. You're pretty good. You can go on there too. And then, oh, here's a guy at 41. You get to man the kill-a-majig. And the rest of these guys, we'll just leave them here on damage control. We're sailing with a little bit of a heavy crew this time out, but that's okay because the Japanese are going to take Manila, and otherwise these guys would be stranded. So we're not going to do that to them. All right, so we got our boat set up. We got our crew set up. I showed you the settings. Let's jump in here and take a look at our mission. So here we go, December 8th, 1941. Chet Smith was actually the commander of the USS Swordfish at this time, so a very successful submarine career, considering that he was an early guy. Come on, I can read faster than that. So let's see, ComSum AF, Asiatic Fleet, you are to proceed to Cam Ranh Bay. Oh, okay. French Indochina and reconnoiter as marked on the map for at least 10 days, expecting movement anytime from the IJN, reports all contacts as necessary with as much detail as possible, and then you are free to attack at your discretion. All right, so we're starting here in Manila. We're going to cruise on over here and hang out there for about 10 days, see what kind of Japanese iron we can put on the bottom of the ocean. Let's go ahead and start docked in the harbor, just because I want to show you Manila Bay. It looks really cool in this game. So, but setup is Pearl Harbor happened yesterday. Everybody's like, oh my God, what do we do? So we are implementing Rainbow 5, which was one of the plans, which called immediately to barf out all the submarines and report Japanese movements and interdict shipping as much as possible. So here's all our guys. Here's the control room of the submarine. You can move around this a little bit, but there's not really much need to. These two guys, oh my gosh, man, everybody's got something to say right now. We just let them do it. Blah, 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 blah. Guys, I get it. There's ships in the harbor. So, but anyway, if you can hear me over the din, these these guys control the dive planes. This guy controls the vents. Right now we're on the surface. If we move over here a little bit, this is our diving officer, I think, or petty officer. Yep, he's checking out the map. Yeah, there's not much going on down here, so we probably won't spend too much time down here. So most submarine commanders would spend their time up here in the conning tower, where we have more interesting things going on. So you got our helmsman there. This guy's manning our sonar, our sonar array. These guys over here are standing around the thing that's supposed to be the radar, but we don't have one of those, so we're not going to worry about it too much. All right, let's head on up to the bridge here. And here we are in Manila Harbor. Ooh, that's a little loud. Let's go ahead and turn that down just a skosh. Here. Let's turn all these down just a touch. There we go. All right. Much better. All right, so here we are in Manila Harbor. Looks like we got a couple other submarines here. Looks like someone's taking off right there. We'll probably follow him out. This is probably a sub-tender. It's over here. And, yep, it's O Dark 100. So, well, not quite, but close enough. So we'll head out here in just a sec, but let me show you some of the commands here real quick. Head on down to our map, and here we are in Manila Harbor. So these lines here are sonar contacts. These guys here are boats, ships, so to speak. And this black one right here, that's us. Alright, so we're going to head out this way and start making for our map objective, which is way over here. So we'll go check that out here in just a second. Alright. Let's thread our way through this crap. So carefully. Yeah, that should do. And head out this way. These triangles here are airplanes. They're blue, so we're not going to worry about them. If they were red, we would definitely worry about them. And there is a non-zero chance of red airplanes showing up at this point in time. In fact, I think a couple days, or it might be this day, the Japanese showed up and bombed the bejesus out of Cavite, which is the naval base down here. I don't know why it started us over in the harbor. I would have thought we would start over here, but you know, the guys who did this mod, they know their historical chops. I mean, they have their historical chops. They know what they're doing. So we're just going to let them do it. So let's head up to the bridge here, which is outside, and make sure that we're getting out of here without bonking into nothing. So, game looks really good. I mean, the base version of this game wasn't bad considering it came out in 2007, but this is just beautiful compared to like all the other submarine games that I've played. You know, and I know there's been a few that are like you know, U-boat campaigns and things like that, but you know, I don't really play around in that pond, so I kind of like it over here where the water's a little bit warmer. So but let's see, let's show you the camera view here, so because it looks like we're going to be okay. Well, we might hit him. Hang on, let's make sure we don't hit. Yeah, we're not going to hit him. We'll be all right. So let's go back to that bridge. Here we go. And we can hop around the harbor here a little bit with the free cam. So looks like we got a, yeah, this has got to be a subtender. I think there are 2 or 3 of them in Manila Harbor at this time. One of them would prove to be crucial later on, which is the Holland. That might be the Holland. I don't know. Can't identify. We got a couple of these little minesweepers over here. Cool stuff. What do we got over here? Another one. And looks like an old school tanker right there. You can usually tell it's a tanker because the engine room's back here. So on most of these, you know, because of distributed weight. So a tanker when it's full. So, and then when it's empty, of course, then I don't know how they balance that out. I'm not a nautical engineer. I just ride them, boys. I don't build them. So, has he got an Australian destroyer? Oh, no, this is a British destroyer. Check that out. I think that's the British Jack. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. The Australian one. Here's an Australian one. Yeah. Right there. Although, watch, I'm going to offend somebody in New Zealand to get that one wrong. So, got a couple boats over here. A couple more over here. This looks like a liner.
Sonar,
yeah, some kind.
Moving away. Bearing.
All right, let's go check and make sure we're not bonking into nothing here. Nope. Looks like one of our fellow boats are heading out here. There were like 30 submarines in the Asiatic fleet, and about half of them were old school submarines, but some of them were newer submarines like ours. The Swordfish, this is us right here. The Swordfish was a Sargo class boat, which had 4 bow tubes and 4 stern tubes, but other than that, it's basically a fleet boat. So minus 2 torpedo tubes. A little bit older, but not too old. I mean, like, I've been reading up on the history of this ship. It had just gotten to Manila like a couple weeks before this, fresh out of Pearl Harbor. And got a little, what is this guy? Looks like a minesweeper coming around us here. Let's go see what's over here. What are these? Oh, we got some old school destroyers over here. These are old World War I destroyers. So they used to call them 4-pipers because they had, of course, 4 pipes on them. Let's, what else is over here? Nothing? Nothing else over here. Alright, so anyway, let's get back to our boat here. Make sure that we're not going to bunk into nothing. I think we're looking pretty good here. Maybe we can delete this one off. Straighten out a little bit. So all ahead standard is not 4 knots. It must be because we're in port. So I'm sure there's a speed limit. So I don't know though. So like I said, I'm not a nautical engineer. So I know very little about actual actually manning a ship, considering, like, I like playing these games because I'm absolutely terrified of the ocean. So, in fact, I get a little touch of the thalassophobia. And there are times when I'm looking at the deep blue sea on here, and it's just kind of freaking me out a little bit. So, which would not be a good trait for a submarine commander, but we're going to pretend. We'll fake it until we make it, so to speak. Man, I'm excited about this one. So I'm going to go out there and see if we can find something to sink. And hopefully stay alive tonight. I guess tonight we'll run until either the game crashes, which this mod has not done to me yet, knock on wood, or I die, which is distinctly possible, or my family comes back home, because the reason why I'm doing this tonight is because they're out of the house and I actually have the bandwidth to be able to do this, because there's not 12 devices on at one time. time. So if they come back home tonight, we might have to cut the stream short, but we'll see how it goes. So anyway, let me kind of show you around here a little bit what all these buttons and dials and knobs and things do. So we'll just work from right to left over here. These are different status indicators for our level of fuel. Our battery, alright, so because submarine, when it dives during World War II, they're diesel electric boats. When we dive, we run off a battery, alright, and so this lasts a heck of a lot longer, or a lot less longer than this. In fact, if we run at standard speed, I think we get maybe a day and a half submerged. So usually what we'll do is we'll run submerged during the day, and then at night we'll pop up on the surface, recharge the battery, and have it good to go for the next day. This is our compressed air. You use that to surface the boat, and this is CO2. All right, and so just like Apollo 13, if you get too much of this, you asphyxiate your crew. So if we stay down too long, that'll start to become a little bit of a problem. Even if we're moving, just creeping along, this, of course, is going to build up. I don't think I've ever had a situation in this game where I asphyxiated my crew. So, but then again, I've only played this one, I guess the base version, just a few times last summer. And I mean, I was having a really good time with it, but at the same point in time, it was not running very well on my laptop. And I got the Steam version of it, so it was not a. It was, I don't know, it was a little buggy and stuff like that. But so far, so good on this mod. And it's got a lot of new cool tools in it that you can use as well. We'll speed up time here in a sec. Let me just walk you through this. This, of course, here is our telegraph. That's how we ring up speed. This is our compass, and so it gives us our heading right there. So remember, heading, bearing. Heading's the way you're moving. Bearing's the way you're looking. And then this over here, of course, this is our fathometer. I don't know if that's what it's called. So whatever, it's depth to keel. So this is how deep the boat is at any given point in time. And right now we cannot dive, so because we are in Manila Harbor, and so here we are moving out. But if we go down here, and you might not be able to see this very well, but there is very little depth in here. So we are definitely not going to dive the boat while we are in shallow water. All right, so that's all these things. This thing over here, oh yeah, well you know what that is. And then this thing right here, this is our radio log, gives us our mission objectives. So we're going to Camaran Bay. Any messages that we get. And like I said, the guys who did this mod are amazing because they did a great job of actually putting in all kinds of historical details in here. So, yeah, and I mean, the base game had a lot of that too. But the guys who did the mod over on the Subsim forum, and I lurk around that site. I don't post on that site. But I lurk on it quite a bit. I mean, they are into this stuff, and it's cool to see hobbyists out there who can do things like this to an awesome game like this one. And then we have a captain's log. If we sink anything, it'll show up here. And then I think this is, sometimes, I don't know exactly what this is, but it says captain's abilities. This might be a part of the mod where you get these special abilities here. So apparently we have a guy on the boat here who can recharge a battery really fast or something. Battery recharge fix. I don't know what that means, but we'll keep him. So anyway, moving on here. Let's take a look at these guys over here. So these are all our controls, and like I said, I don't have too much experience with this mod. So some of the things have moved around from the base game, but we'll figure it out as we go. So these are our boat controls. So, you know, we can go to our command room, crash dive, blah, blah, blah. There's quick keys for these too, and I think I know most of them. There should be a silent running one on here somewhere. I hope so. It's probably in here somewhere. We'll find it eventually. So, maybe. I don't know. I probably went past it, but it used to be over here. Maybe this is it. No? Decoys? I don't think we have any decoys. That's early in the war. Recharge battery. Radar depth. Yeah, it's in here somewhere. Version chart. Yeah, so I don't know what all these things do just quite yet, but we'll figure it out as we go. Alright, so anyway, this is the map table. And you have two map tables in this game. You have this one, which is the navigation map. I spend almost all my time on this one. And then you have this one here, which is your attack map. And so the attack map, when you enter solutions into the TDC, which is basically our primitive version of the computer that figures out, you know, where to launch the missiles at, it'll have that green line that comes out of here that kind of you can use as kind of like a laser pointer as to where your torpedoes are going to go. But other than that, I just don't really spend that much time on this map. I'm sure some of the pros do out there, but I don't know. It's just, it seems a little redundant for me. Like I said, there's probably reasons why, but I just don't know. All right, so this is our nav map. Here's our periscope right here. So we have two scopes, an attack scope and a night scope. I don't know if we have a night scope early in the war. So this one's supposed to be a night scope, but our attack scope looks like this. All right, and it has the inputs for the TDC, the torpedo data computer. And so we'll spin all these knobs and dials here, and we can set torpedo settings on each one of these and then launch them out of here. We won't hit this button right now because they will go. So, and we'll get in trouble with the Admiral. So we're not going to do that right now. But when we actually get something to shoot at, I'll show you how all this stuff works here. If you don't know already, some of you probably do. You know, depending on where you're coming from, or if you've got any experience with any submarine games out there. This game does a pretty good job of actually emulating all that stuff, but it's also you can turn it on easy mode, which is just basically point and shoot, and your crew does all the stuff. And a lot of the games in the old days were like that. With the original Silent Hunter, you could set it so that you were doing all the calculations yourself, and it was a pain. But if you got good at it and you actually hit something, you felt really good. So, I like challenging games like this where they actually kind of push you a little bit and push your knowledge, but also kind of put you in the shoes of the folks who were actually there during these times. So anyway, that's the periscope. I'll go ahead and put it back in the shears here. And then we got another one out here on the bridge. Okay, this guy right here, this is the TBT, the target bearing transmitter. Okay, it's basically a periscope that you can use on the surface. It does the exact same thing. And the cool thing about the TDC, or the torpedo data computer, which if we go up in the conning tower is manned by, well, nobody's there right now, so because these slackers are over here staring at the non-existent radar screen. It's this guy right here, all right? And so you spin these knobs and dials, or actually I think they're these ones down here. Can I actually click on this? Damage control. Oh, okay, that's clever. Cool. So I don't think that's going to do too much. So, well, I guess. You know, but, anyway, you enter the information in those knobs and dials in here, and it comes up with a firing solution that actually sends information to the torpedo, which will then go leave the sub and then turn whichever direction you want it to go. You told it to go, and it'll do what you tell it to do. Okay, so most of the time. All right, so I don't know. They might have circular runs modeled in this game. If we get one of those, we're cooked. So, but anyway, those are all the stations with the exception of just a couple. We got a 3-inch pop gun on the back here, so that we can use 3-inch guns. Just not going to do that much, so I'm just not planning on using this that much, but you never know, we might find something little to sink. And same thing, we got an anti-aircraft gun here, which is a 50 cal, which we're not going to shoot at airplanes with this. We're just asking for trouble if we do that. Alright, so anyway, back to the conning tower. We have the the sonar guy here. And so this really cool thing in this game is that you can actually operate this sonar gear. Alright, and so the ship has two sonar heads. In fact, I can probably show those to you. Two sonar heads. They look like little nuts on the bottom of the ship. Yep, right there. Or boat, sorry. So, and those you control through this station here. Now, you don't have to control each one of them independently. You can just look at one of them. But, you know, you have this bearing here, and you use this dial to kind of spin that around, and you can hear things out there. So there's something behind us. Directly behind us is, you can hear our own propellers there, and they're really quiet, and so you can tell that submarines have a very different signature on this than just about anything else. And then over here, you just spin this around, and whenever that green light pops up, that's when you have a contact. out there. And if you want to get the range stat, you can ping it
Sonar is
like
merchant.
that.
Moving away. Bearing.
So,
3, 6. Long
you
range.
want to do this maybe in some cases where you're tracking something that's like, you know, it's in the fog or something like that. You want to be very careful when you ping warships with this, especially if they have sonar gear, because then they're going to know that you did it. I learned that one the hard way. So we'll try not to do that too much in this game here. So anyway, moving on. This is our radar station, which doesn't exist. As you can see, it doesn't work. Can't turn it on. That's because we don't have one. All right, so fair enough. And then the only other thing on here, sub management, and then yes, so we have a radio, a phonograph, and then a help screen. And so the radio, this is the radio down here. I'm not going to turn it on because it just, I mean, I don't know, maybe in this mod I haven't played around with it too much, but it just plays the background music. And these are our major convoy routes out there, and so we're going to actually travel along this one here, okay, which of course doesn't exist just quite now because the Japanese haven't taken Manila yet. But you know, they are heading down here, all right, to see what's going on with they're attacking Malaysia as we speak. And so we might bump into something cool down there, or something decidedly uncool. You never know. But we'll definitely have to keep our eyes peeled for airplanes because they're going to be out there, and you got to turn this off by doing that. All right, so that's the deal. Let's go back to the map. So, oh, this is Cavite Naval Station. Let's go check that out real quick, see what's over there. So, should be over here somewhere. Yep.
Sonar is
No,
merchant.
that's
Moving away. Bearing. 1,
that's
8,
Manila. Where
7.
is it?
Long range.
Ah, here it is. It's up ahead. So I'm kind of surprised we didn't start over here, but maybe that's the way it was. I'm going to trust the guys who built this mod on that. See what we got over here. Looks like we got some kind of large freighter right there. Oh, look at this little tugboat over here. Cool. And then over here, what do we got? Over here. Looks like another one of them tankers or oilers. And then this looks like a little minesweeper. Yeah. And over here. Oh, here's a subtender. Yeah, with a couple subs. Oh, check these out. They're little PT boats right here. Oh, that's freaking cool. I've never seen one of those in this game. Oh, that's cool. Look at them. Yep. Little PT boat. Make JFK proud. And 2 more old school 4-piper destroyers. All right, cool. In the base game, none of this stuff was there. That's really cool that they've actually fleshed this all out the way that it kind of was.
Merchant.
There's another one over here.
3, 1, 8.
Yeah.
Long range.
All right, so anyway, back to the boat. I got a few guys standing on watch here. So if we go to crew management over here, you can see that we have different watches, and so basically we have 3 different shifts. When we dive, these guys go and they park and they hold up in here, and they're basically out of a job at that point in time. So we can always stuff them on our damage control team if we need it. These guys aren't actually manning the gun right now, and that's because we're not at general quarters, which I think is against Navy regulations. I think you're supposed to pipe to general quarters when you leave a port. Oops. So that's okay. So we'll get out of view of the Admiral here, and everybody will take their shirt off anyway. So we don't have to tell anybody. So as long as they don't have a rotten XO who writes a report on me afterwards. Let's meet some of our officers here. Who we got? All right, so we got Fred Gilmore, Lieutenant JG, Frank Lincoln, JG, Mr. Hess, who's an ensign. And then this guy over here, he's an ensign, and he's an ensign. So I guess one of these guys might be my XO. One of these 2 here might be my XO, but usually I think you'd have a full lieutenant. Because I think I'm a lieutenant commander by default on this one. So I don't know. I might be wrong about that. I mean, I've read a lot of books on the Pacific War in terms of the submarines. and things like that. But each boat, I mean, if you read a book like, you know, Sink 'em All, that does all that takes you through the entire war with all the submarines. But then you can have other ones like I think it's Take Her Down, which is just about a single submarine. Or actually, there's a book on the Swordfish that I read last summer. I don't think I have it right here. Yeah, I don't think I have it right here. And so each boat is just a little bit different. And so we're going to assume that first watch here, Mr. Gilmore is our XO. That doesn't really matter. He's probably hanging out in the... This guy here, Frank Lincoln. So, deck watch. This guy should be on deck. Let's go take a look and see. Yeah, that's probably him right there. Man, please up that mustache. We just left port, man. You couldn't even shave before you showed up to work today. So, I'm not that kind of skipper. So, in fact, I'm probably the laziest sub skipper ever. All right, so I would be walking around in my flip-flops by this point in time. All right, anyway, enough of like introduction to the game and things like that. Let's actually get to the War Patrol, shall we? It's only been half an hour if you're me, just like marveling at this game. So here's our clock. Let's do some time compression and scooch on out here to the end of the harbor. And so your time compression's down here, but it'll always reset back down to like 8 whenever you get a contact, whether she be friendly or not. Okay, and so it's going to take a little bit of effort here to get out of the harbor. Still only using half a percent of my CPU. This is amazing. I love this. I absolutely love this. Oh, so see, we got something crossing our path right here. It looks like a little minesweeper or a tugboat or something. Let's go ahead and set course to avoid him. Which way is he going? Yep. So, and notice that our speed now is back up to about 10 knots. About 10 knots is standard. I think this boat can make about 20 on the surface, or maybe 18, something like that. If we go flank speed, but we'll burn through our fuel pretty fast. So standard, usually we have like one engine on rotation and the other one's actually charging the batteries at this point in time. I think. I don't know if you can actually set that in this game. Maybe. Let's go outside and take a look at that guy, see what he is. So, yep, sun's up. So, look at the blue water, man. It's just beautiful blue water. So, let's take a look here at our TBT, shall we? See if we can find... Oh, there he is, right there. So, this is an 8 times magnification. You can't change the mag on it. This one here, the periscope, you can. So, it's dual. And so, you know, you have standard, and then I think this is 8x as well, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I might be wrong. Looks kind of like maybe 4x. So, with that one, you can actually change. This one here, you cannot. It is fixed. So, yeah, it's like a little minesweeper or something cruising around out there. We're not going to worry about them too much. Go ahead and speed this up. Get out of the harbor here. And then don't forget our clock. I'm not too worried about running into anything red yet. Here's another contact right here. These are shore batteries up here. I don't know if those were actually in the original game. Maybe. And so we got some sonar contacts that are heading towards the harbor. If you watch these, so each one of these bars represents a given distance, and then it gives you the constant bearing. So you can actually get a pretty good fix on somebody with sonar alone. Which was not easy to do. In fact, I don't even know if you could do it in the original Silent Hunter unless you got like the advanced one. I don't think I ever had that. So, but anyway, let's check this guy out here real quick, just to kind of show you some of the different ships and whatnot that's out there. So, he's up here somewhere. Oh, there he is, right there. There's some kind of freighter, single stack, right in the middle. So this island right here is Corregidor. So, which is where the Japanese would bottle up. This is Bataan over here, but Corregidor is where the Americans would get bottled up and basically have a siege for like, I think it was good 3 months, 4 months, before General MacArthur decided to hop on one of them PT boats we saw back there and run away to Australia. Yes. If you watch my Carriers at War series, you know he's one of my punching bags, even though he doesn't really deserve it sometimes. So, he catches a lot of crap for the Philippines campaign, rightfully so in some respects, but not entirely so. at least in my opinion, which is I wouldn't say it's definitive. So, all right, let's set a course all the way over there for Cam Bay. So this little guy right here, notice it's got a green circle, so we got to spend 10 days inside this. And if we look at the kind of the strategic situation up here, here's Japan, here's Pearl Harbor over here, there's Marca, here's China. But this right here, the South China Sea, was basically like a superhighway for the Japanese in the beginning, because they are, not only are they going to land on Luzon here within maybe today or tomorrow, they'll actually land on the Philippines here, and then here. They won't land here for a couple more weeks if these guys did the historical accuracy, which I'm sure they did on this one. They'll land up here in force in a couple weeks and basically take Manila, and then they'll land a few guys somewhere over in here. And so the Japanese idea was to basically stretch out all the American forces so they could take the Philippines. And MacArthur's plan, of course, and the previous war plan, was to defend this right here, which is Bataan, and then I'll turn this, which is Corregidor, which is the island we're going by right now, into basically a fortress, which was a good strategy. The problem with it was, the Japanese didn't really want the Philippines. They just wanted the Americans off the Philippines. And so this is Clark Air Force Base right here, I think. Yep. So Army Air Force Base, sorry, at this time. And the Japanese basically wanted this and this, neutralized. And after that, they were cool, because they could care less about the Philippines. All the goodies that they wanted were down here. And so they already are in Saigon, all right, so because of, the Vichy French. And then they are actively invading Malaya right now. And so the fact that they're sending us over here is pretty good, because anything that comes between here and needs to go down here got to get through us. So, which may be easy or hard depending on how well we do here. Anyway, let's go ahead and crank up some speed here and get out of the harbor. All these contacts will fade off here pretty quick, and we might not see anybody for a little while. There's a friendly. What is that? It looks like a little tugboat, or maybe a minesweeper, or a mine layer. You never know. So doing its thing. So, but yeah, just the immersiveness of this game is freaking cool. So long range sonar contact, merchant moving slow. Which way is he going? So now, out here we might actually run into something that's Japanese. So let's go take a peek, shall we? What we got here. We'll just take it nice and slow. See what pops up. Oh, nope, it's blue. That means it's friendly. Never mind. Return to course. So it's noon, 1 o'clock, 1300 here on the 8th. I still feel pretty good about being in under our air cover here, but we got a radio message here. What is it? Message received, yes. What is it? All submarines are reminded that you are to remain submerged. Oops. Except it says charge batteries during the night hours with poor visibility within 500 miles. Blah, blah, blah. All right. This jerk here probably radioed us in or something and say, hey, there's an American submarine on the surface. So let's go ahead and take her down. So, here we go. Periscope depth. And yeah, it's the klaxons and the horns and all the things. Let's go ahead and take her down. So, but it's such a nice day. I guess that doesn't matter. So, the Admiral wants us on, under the deck, and so down we go. Ooh, I should have timed this. Come to think of it, I don't know how long it takes. Usually, it took most fleet boats about a minute to dive. Let's just see there. That'll be good to know when we run into airplanes that aren't friendly. So, I mean, I'm terrible. Oh, look, someone forgot to take in Old Glory, man. Oh, never mind, they got it. All right. So, about to say, man, you got the flag wet. You're gonna piss off the YouTube here. All right, so we're just about there. So that's not bad. 30 seconds. That's not bad at all. So that's not too bad. But we're almost at periscope depth, which is, I think, 55 feet. But notice this, you know, periscope depth is good because it makes us really hard to see. All right, unless you fly right over us, which is right there, and then you can kind of see it. All right, so yeah, I mean, you know, when the sea's really calm, you can definitely see it. It's a little choppy, not too bad right here, but you know, you can still see it when we're down below. But anyway, off we go. So we will run standard speed. So when you're underwater, of course, you go way slower than you do when you're on the surface because batteries and, of course, resistance and things. But at the same point in time, if we leave it at standard, we get about a day and a half charge underneath the ocean. And so let's just go ahead and speed this up till nighttime. And we're just going to wait for a contact now. So there we go. So 1900 is pretty good. So let's go ahead and go take a look-see. See if we see anything out there. During the day, when we run during the day, like enemy territory, we'll leave the scope up. And someone will man it, and then if anything gets spotted, oh man, look at this, nice and dark outside. No moon whatsoever. All right, I'm satisfied. Surface the boat. And you're going to notice here that the boat takes a lot less time to surface than it does to dive. And that's because you use the compressed air to basically push all the water out, set the bow planes, and up you go. And you try and maintain a certain level of, you know, buoyancy in the boat. Because if you go like this, you're going to go like that, and you're going to die. So that's another thing I found out the hard way. So there she is. I don't know if you can see her. It's kind of dark. So, but USS Swordfish on the deck. Here we go. And off we go. All head standard. Actually, I think that maintains itself even if you surface the boat. All right. Anyway, back to our screen. Let's go ahead and run this. Clock up. Here we go. Just go all night long and see what we can find, if anything. Still barely using any CPU. This is awesome. So I tried to record a couple videos on my old laptop, and my CPU usage was like 68%. My laptop was just like, oh, please turn it off. But my buddy Nate built me this badass machine, and I just, oops, see, now I get too busy there. Now we're kind of in the danger zone, all right, and so we'll go up on deck here, just take a look around, see what the weather's like. Beautiful day, but sorry, my boys, you're not going to get to enjoy it. Periscope depth. Off we go.
Periscope depth.
Down we go.
Dive. Periscope depth.
And we'll go ahead and pop the scope up. Just leave it up. Just in case we spot something that we can't hear. Now, typically we're going to be able to hear something long before we'll actually see it. Alright? But that's not always true. It just depends on what it is, what the sea conditions are like, whether or not our guy's paying attention, any kind of stuff. So I typically just leave the scope up. You can see it if you're an airplane. It's pretty hard, though, unless you're flying right on the deck. And notice that, you know, we're going slow enough here where we don't leave this big old wake behind it. So, you know, if you're going too fast, you leave what's called a rooster tail, which is this big old wake, and so an airplane could spot that, but not nearly as easily as it could spot us if we were on the surface. So later in the war, subs would just run on the surface, you know. And then as soon as you spot an airplane, once we get a radar would show up. The airplane would show up on radar before it would ever be able to see us, usually. Not always, but usually. And so we'd just dive the boat and make like a hole in the water, and nobody would ever be the wiser. But this time in the war, we don't have a radar, so airplanes are not our friends. So we better hurry up here and get on over there. So, oh, look at that. There's like whales and stuff. Oh, no shit, that's cool. That's a neat little detail they put in there. That was not in the base game. Good job, guys. At least I think those are whales. So hopefully they're not holes in the hull. So here we go. I'll run to about 1830. There we go. Pop. Let's go see what's going on. Oh, that's the camera. I don't want to cheat too much. Use the camera as basically a flying drone. We want it for when we get money shots. All right, when we blow things up, if we blow anything up. All right, we're good. I'm satisfied. Surface the boat. Yep, we're on the surface, making 10 knots. Do that all night long. And notice that as soon as we get on the surface, this recharges immediately, and this one, our battery goes a little bit slowly. So, there we go, 10 knots. On for a whole nother evening of fun here. I want to find something, man. We probably won't run into anything out in the middle of the South China Sea here. You know, if we'd been assigned to go up here, we might run into something up there. But we don't even have any map contacts, so on this game it'll show a little map contact if somebody else radios something in. Oh, 7 o'clock in the morning. So this gets a little tedious, but man, look at that. It's just pretty. It's awful pretty, but also deadly, so down we go.
Periscope down. Yes, sir.
Oh, we don't want to be on the...
Periscope down.
We don't want to be on the bridge here. I don't think it would kill me, but... Alright, down we go. Up scope. And we'll let somebody else man the scope for a little while. So, and you know, the submarine games are kind of like this. They do get a little bit grindy, you know, especially ones like this one where it has real-time navigation. The original Silent Hunter 1, you would jump to a war patrol and then kind of arrow key around it. Or actually, no, that was Silent Service 2, where you would arrow key across the Pacific and then, you know, just kind of do circles around like, you know, a truck or something like that. Silent Hunter, the original Silent Hunter, you would jump to a war zone, to a patrol zone, and then you would do this on that map. All right, this one, of course, you've got the world is your oyster. So if we want to sail to London, we can do it. I don't think we have the fuel for that. All right, but say we decided, no, Cameron Bay, screw that. We're gonna go patrol Panama. We could do that. All right, 1900. Let's go ahead and surface the boat. Take down the scope.
Prepare to surface. Prepare to surface. Be ready on all 4 rows. Stand by.
Yep, we're good. And let's just run. So no set right away. Comes up to 10 knots. And we're recharging our battery. So yeah, that was only about 12 hours submerged. So we get maybe 18 hours submerged. So that's important to remember on this one. Either that, or we can reduce speed when we're submerged. We'll probably do that when we get a little bit into more dangerous territory. But for right now, you know, it'll be all right. It's poor sub management on my part, but like I said, I'm a little lazy when it comes to skippering. So, here we go. Now we're getting close to Vietnam, so we want to be a little bit careful here in the morning. So now look at this. We got crappy weather today, so we got a little bit of chop going on out here. That's good for us. We like that as a submarine because we don't have to deal with it. We just go to periscope depth. But everybody on the surface, of course, has to deal with it. And that's their problem, not our problem. All right.
Planes dive, 15 degrees. Planes dive, 15 degrees. All clear.
There we go. All clear. So let's go ahead and reduce speed a little bit today. We'll go to 2/3. And that'll give us a lot more battery. Exactly 50% more. So here we go, clock. We've got no contacts yet. This is rather disappointing. So, but of course, it's kind of rare to find something out in the open ocean. You know, you got to kind of spook around ports and things like that. So if anything's heading towards Saigon here, it's going to have to loop around here, and we might be able to catch it. So, do we have the scope up? We do have the scope. We don't have the scope up. It's because your captain's freaking lazy. Put the scope up, guys. You're supposed to have my back. Alright, let's see what we can find today, if anything. So I see our battery's not draining near as much as it was yesterday. So, but, you know, and we knocked off a knot of speed. So, actually, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good exchange. Oh, wait a minute. What's this? Radio message received. That's interesting. We shouldn't be able to receive those when we're underneath the ocean. So, all submarines are reminded to submerge. Yeah, I did that. Okay. Oh, we got some news messages here. December 12th? December 11th. Oh, I guess we should read our messages more often. European and Southeast Asian wars have now become a global conflict between the Axis powers of the Japanese Empire, Germany, and Italy. Okay, so we're at war. War declared. Alright, we kind of figured that part out. Let's see if we can get some contacts. See what we can find. We've been going for what, about 45 minutes here? Yeah, that's not too bad. So this is kind of a long game. So when I was playing Carriers of War, you could knock out a battle of that in about an hour and a half. This one, a war patrol, could take you, oh, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. So if you want to do the whole thing. You know, if you get a lot of targets in the beginning, it maybe take you an hour and a half, 2 hours before you run out of torpedoes. And that's basically what determines whether or not you go home. Whether you run out of gas, you run out of torpedoes, or if your boat is beat up. You know, and if your boat's really beat up, then yes, you go home. You know, so you go find a safe place to make it better. So, but yeah, this is a lot better. 2/3 is a lot better. So we'll just do that from now on. Even though we don't go as far, it's important to conserve your battery in case, you know, you have destroyers on you and they keep you submerged for, you know, a day, which does happen. So from time to time, if they keep picking you up. So 5:30. Now let's go ahead and run this another hour. That'll do. What's it look like out there? Nice and dark and choppy. Good. We like that. Surface boat. Standard. Here we go.
Prepare to surface. Prepare to surface.
Nighttime is a good time to find something. So makes it very, very hard to see you. So, because remember the old adage, you know, so, for those of you who've read some of the books out there, there are exactly 2 types of ships on the sea, submarines and targets. So, we are one of those, not the other. So, unless the airplanes show up, then we are decidedly the others. So, we got to spend 10 hours in this over here, or 10 days. That's quite a bit. So, what I'm going to do here is let's set up a little bit of a search pattern. We want to stay we want to stay out of shallow water. Shallow water and submarines don't mix. All right, so we kind of want to skirt. I'd say this depth line here. All right, and so we'll just start making patrols forward and back of this. And I think there's a button that lets you do this, but you know, something will pop up eventually where we'll be able to change that. Otherwise, you have to go in and delete all that crap out, and it's not so much fun. So, but we'll just make a beeline right for this segment here, and then we'll just make a nice, straight, easy breezy, back and forth patrol pattern. All right. Now we definitely want to get on underwater now because the red. This one's red. That means it's Japanese. It's bad. So here we go. Oh man, the weather is gnarly. I love it. 15 meters per second. So direction 6-7. So it's coming from about there. All right, I like it. So that'll be good for us today. All right, periscope depth. Take it down.
Periscope depth.
Here we go. Oh, set this to 2/3. Save some battery. And we will just run around today. It'll be a little harder here, guys, in the weather like this, but not too bad because, like, it sounds completely different above the surface than it does beneath. And so, like, if you're on the surface right now, we'd be pitching and rolling and things like that. But right now, so even just being, you know, a little bit under, we are nice and calm. So there we go. Look at this. This is nice chop. We like it. Let me go out here and take a look. Yeah, see now it's much harder to spot us. All right, from up above. I mean, you can still do it, but it is not easy in crap like this. So this is good hunting weather. So because it's nice and clear, there's no fog. All right, there's no clouds, there's no rain. This is great for us. All right, but then the ocean is really jacked up, and so that's good. If there's any destroyers, they won't be able to hear us through this crap. And at the same point, well, they might. I mean, they have to be like right over us. So, but this is primo hunting weather. Oh, even though it is loud. So here we go. All right. So now we just cruise around and we wait. So that's the job of a submarine. The job of a submarine is to be dangerous. So we just got to put ourselves in the right spot, and we can be dangerous. But no contact reports, nothing. So nobody knows nothing about any Japanese out there. So got no updates, nada. Got whales. I hear whales. And see, we can test the depth here. So we got these charts, and you can just go by the color. So this darker blue is fine. This one's okay too. This one, this one, no. We do not fight in this unless we do so on the surface, which removes an entire plane of us being able to be dangerous. And so I prefer. I'm a little cautious on that one because the couple times I've gotten roasted by destroyers, it's always been in areas like this, and so I kind of learned from my mistakes on that one. But we can do a ping here to see how deep the water is. At least we used to be able to. Maybe it's in here. Now with sonar. What is this? Nearest warship. Send range. No. Gosh dang it. It used to be a thing. There it is, right there. So depth under kill. So we send a ping straight down, 818 feet. That's way below our crush depth. All right, and so we are as good as we can be. So it can be 10,000 feet, or it can be 450 feet. Same thing as far as we're concerned. All right. Oh, here we go. Let's do a little bit more here. Cruise around. We're at 2/3, so we got lots of battery for today. And let's just cruise through this and see what we can find, if anything. So we'll ping it again when we get over here, and you'll see that it'll chop it quite a bit. What time is it? 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Yep, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. 1600. Stream's doing good. Oh, hey, look at that. We got a contact. Check this out. So, warship, medium speed. Not a big fan of warships. Constant distance? Constant distance means that he's probably traveling in tandem with us. So what I like to do is you grab your pencil here, you make a mark, and let's give him a little time. Oh, I didn't realize I had things speeded up here. Hang on. Let's do that again. Oh, we got 2 of them. Check this out. So 2 radar contacts here. So let's grab the first one here, make a mark right there, and let's time them. You time them for about 3 minutes. 3 warships. And that'll give us a good idea of not just his speed, but also his general core. So that's 2 minutes. There's another one. And that's 3 minutes. Right there.
Sonar merchant, constant distance, bearing 2.
So that's a merchant. 242. So if we zoom in here, we get this guy here. So, and this is our compass rose that gives us our bearings. And so 242, one of these guys is a merchant. So might be that one, might be that one. But these are probably warships. So we have constant distance on these guys. And this is why I don't draw too much on this map, because you wind up erasing it like that. But you use some of these tools here to just kind of, they're basically pencils, protractors, and things like that, and you can use them to, you use this button here to turn on your compass rose, so you get it, to kind of figure out where they're going. So we got almost a constant bearing, 180 here on this guy, all right? And then, so that gives us a rough course, and then if you time it between these two with 3 minutes, and then you use your compass on this, you can get rough speed. So 13 knots is fast, okay? That is way faster than we can go, which sucks, all right? Because, well, what time is it? Well, it might be getting a little dark out there. Let's go take a look. There we go. No, not dark yet, so we are definitely not going to surface. All right. I mean, we could. So the Admiral will yell at us if we do that. So, but we might need to do that in order to actually gain speed on these guys because they're going way faster than we are. All right, so I'm tempted to run. We got a lot of batteries, so let's at least pour on another knot here.
Long range.
And let's parallel their course, sort of. And if push comes to shove, we'll get close enough where at night we'll pop on the surface and then do a flank speed run down here. Although they did want us to report these guys too. You got to be close enough to actually establish a contact, but I almost guarantee these are Japanese. Otherwise, they wouldn't be heading this way if they weren't. But let's go take a listen here real quick. Oh no, wrong one. This one here. See what we got. So 262, I think, or 242. You can just barely hear them. That one's a little louder, right there. That's a warship. That one's a merchant, but he's still moving pretty good. So if you have faster merchants like that, they're usually like transports or... Yeah, that one's actually a little bit slower right there. See the difference? That one versus that one. And so if you have warships and you have like escort groups, sometimes they'll do zigzags and they'll change speed and stuff like that. They'll basically sweep ahead of the merchants. And so usually the best thing you can do is to find the merchant in the group, because like that guy right there at 270 exactly. So if we go back to our map here and take a look at this one here, so he's going to be this guy right here, and just follow this line. That one's going to be a merchant. If you follow the merchants, they usually give you a much better like fix on a convoy or on a contact's speed and course. All right, because those will travel basically constant, especially early in the war. Not so much later in the war, but definitely early in the war. And so let's go ahead and we're going to delete all this crap off here and try and get a really good fix on this guy. So we'll run this for 3 minutes. So that's 1 minute. Two minutes. 3 minutes.
Warship closing. Bearing 2.
They might actually be heading a little bit towards us. If you grab this furthest one here, it doesn't necessarily give you an idea of the range, but it gives you a really good fix on both their course and their speed. So you just run this through the 2 X's right there. So course looks like it's about 188. And then so we just take this here and run it all the way down here, doing 188. And you can kind of check and make sure it goes pretty close to the X's. So he actually might be going a little bit further left or to the east. Let's do that again. Put it right on there and then just drive it right through there. So it's right through the X. So 189. Let's do that. 189. So that's their rough course, or at least one of the merchantmen in there. And then let's get another fix on the speed. Yeah, 13 knots. That's fast. That's faster than us when we're in this condition. But if we run this for a bit, so it's just a little bit after 1700, and they're heading this way. If we run this for a bit, we don't want to get too jammed up in this. Here's a C mount right here. We definitely want to stay away from that. All right, but we might be able to cut these guys off. But I'd like to get close enough to see them, and then we'll surface and report the contact. No, don't do that.
Returning to course, sir.
And then we're gonna go after them. We're gonna go get us some, get us a fix on these guys. Because if it's got merchants in it, then that means, you know, if it's a warship group, sometimes they just book it, you know. And if they get a whiff of you being there, they just book it, and you'll never catch them in a case like that. But if you if they have merchants who, you know, max speed would be like 13, 14 knots on some of those, then you can, oh, this is going to be a pain. This might take a little while, because every time we get a new contact out of this, it's going to drop our time compression down to 8 like that. And so this is a convoy. This is a big convoy. This is an awesome target. Oh man, I don't want to surface the boat though. I really should though. And just pray there's no airplanes. So let me see. What's it look like out there?
Sonar merchant. Constant distance. Bearing 248. Long range.
This is a risk. I mean, it's probably not a risk worth taking. Oh man, I gotta think about it just for a minute here. So, I'm just gonna have to see. 13 knots, definitely heading this way. Oh, yeah, all right. I don't want to lose them. So 13 knots. Well, how far will they go? Speed knots 13. Time in minutes, they'll only go about 6,000 yards. So, but the differential between them and me is what? 4 knots? So, we're going to call it 8 knots? 9 knots? So, about 2,500 yards? We can make that up. Yeah, let's just wait till dusk. Let's run this at least an hour here. And then we'll pop the boat. We'll head up there as soon as we can. Oh man, I did that way too long. Oh well. Surface the boat definitely now.
Surface the boat.
All ahead full. Yeah, it's dark enough. I'm happy. Ah, dang it, I didn't want to break contact like that. Got a little zealous with the time compression there, folks. Hopefully that doesn't, we don't lose them. Alright, because that's a good contact. We just got to get ahead of them. That's the trick. You got to get ahead of them. So let's go ahead and do some time compression here. Pour on the gas, boys. So 15, that's not fast enough. There they are. Oh, man. Even at flank speed, we're having a tough time here. We got a lot of time, though. We got a lot of night left to work with. Looks like they're dead ahead of us now. Might have been a little bit off on the course there. I wonder where they're going. Definitely heading down here somewhere. We want to get the contacts, so we want to get in range where we can see them. Now they're heading that way. See? Check that out. Yeah. Oh, man, I don't want to follow them in shallow water, but I will if I have to. We're just going to have to play this cool here. Change course. Pretty steady. Pretty steady. Let's go ahead and get a new fix on these guys here. So, yeah, it looks like they're heading right for Malaya. Which means there could be all kinds of juicy stuff in here. Let's find the merchants.
Ship spotted.
Ship spotted. Even better. Oh, look at this. What is he doing? Oh, he might have heard me. Whoa. So these guys can usually see about 5 to 6 nautical miles. So, which we are, he might be able to see us. But I almost guarantee you that's an escort. Let's go take a look. So he's bearing what? A 305? He might have heard us. Oh, suck ass. Oh man, he's not going to see us in this. Look at this shit. Ah, look at that. You cannot see this very easily, but it looks like those guys have changed course, because here, right here, if you can see that, that is a merchantman, and it looks like he's got 1 or 2 stacks on him. Looks like 1 stack. We got a destroyer right here, and then we got more merchantmen over here. So they have definitely changed course. Let's go ahead and plot this out here real quick. Well, not real quick. We're gonna be methodical about this. So let's go to our sonar. Let's find ourselves one of the merchantmen. There he is, Merchant 318. Go back here. Which one is 318? It's going to be this guy right here. So let's follow that down. Looks like there's 2 of them right next to each other. Let's just do this one right here. So clock up. Bam. Timer. 3 minutes. Do that 3 minutes. That's this one right here. You got to keep track of them. So it looks like they're still heading southeast, away from me. Oops, I totally wasn't following. That should be 2 minutes, right? Yeah. So it's this one right here. That one. That one. There we go. It's this one right here. Kind of hard to see. So, but I got you. There we go. All right. Right through there. So they've changed course to looks like 238. Let's see where they're going. 238. Ah, they're going right in the shallows. All right. So, but we got a pretty good fix on these guys. Let me get the speed here real quick. Off these guys. I've got their course. I've got their speed. I should have a lot of their composition by now. Still doing 13. Yeah, I might have clicked on the wrong one. I bet you they're still doing about 12 to 13, maybe 14 tops on that one. So, but close does count in this game. Here's a destroyer just spooking around down here. But let's go back up here and take a look at these guys. Yeah, that is a big transport right there. That is a big one. Oh no, maybe you only got 1 stack, but it's definitely a transport. Or a large freighter. There's another one there. There's a destroyer spooking around right there. There's another transport, or looks like an older freighter right there. I know that's probably really hard to see, okay? But if we look at the big one right here, he's right between these two. This line right here and right here, and you can see him right there. He's got lifeboats on the side of him, at least 4 or 5. And then there's another one that looks like it's the exact same type of ship right up there. So these guys are going a little bit faster. I bet you if we go in here and look at our merchant ships on these, now he's only got 1 stack. So, but he's got a string of lifeboats. That's 3 stacks. Probably one of these right here. Okay, so he's got the string of lifeboats and then 1 big stack in the middle. That's a pretty big ship, but look, they can go fast. All right, so we've got a transport group here that we'd love to put some of these on the bottom of the ocean, but you know, honestly, it's probably more important that we radio these guys in and then think about a way to attack them, because they're going to go into shallow water. Up in here, but let's see what the boys in the back home have to say about this. Send status report. I don't have a contact report. Contact report. Convoy to report. Submarine to surface. Radio is functional. More than 2 hours. I guess I don't have a contact to actually report here. Maybe we have to get a little bit closer, which is fine. But we're not going to catch him at 9 knots. In fact, we're barely going to catch him at flank speed. So, but we will try. So we got a lot of nighttime left, and these guys might be a lot closer than they look. All right, they might all be like right about here. So, but we're just going to maintain this course, and you can see that they have gone over the horizon there. But we still have the radar the sonar contact here. Oh wait, I can't do that while I'm paused. Sorry, game doesn't let you cheat like that. So let's just make a little bit more room for him here. It's probably not going to be enough to actually catch him. So, because this convoy is just going a little fast for us today. Even at flank speed. See, his bearing is steady. Alright, so there we go. There's one of the convoy members right there. Gosh, if we could just get ahead of him. But I'm definitely not attacking them on the surface in this, you know. Unless you want to end the very first patrol of the USS Swordfish within about, oh, I don't know, a day and a half. There we go. So we got a good enough contact report now. I still can't send it. All right, so maybe I have to ID these guys. Let's try that. That guy right there is definitely one of those passenger liners. Let's do that. Yep, that's what you are. That's a destroyer. That's a little close for comfort. That's another one of those transports right there. Let's see what kind of destroyer this is. Actually, that's not a destroyer. That is another transport of some kind. Might be one of those. Yeah, it kind of looks like one of those. Alright, let's see if we can actually do this now. Oh, it's over here. Gosh dang, loud up there. Which is good. We still can't report the contract. So, it stinks. Oh, we're out of our patrol zone big time. But I need to report this contract. This contact. How do I do this? Let's get even closer.
Returning course, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, we could theoretically attack these guys. Screw that. Let's do that. Let's try something like this. I don't think we're going fast enough where we could get a firing solution on them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But we will try. We will attempt this.
Returning course, sir. Yes, sir.
See, this guy's circling around here. He's coming right for us, man. No? He's just making a wide-ranging thing out there. Unknown. These guys are going too fast for me. So, can I do the contact yet? I cannot. Why not? If there's a convoy to report. I don't know, maybe I have to be way closer or something, but usually, like back in the base game, as long as you identified... Well, I don't know, I might be wrong about that. As long as you identified a couple of these guys. Look at this destroyer, man. He is scary close. So, we're going to peel off the speed here. We're just going to call it good. We need to radio these guys in somehow, though.
Ship spotted.
Ship spotted. Alright, maybe I have to have them ID it. Maybe that's the trick. Yes. Target identified. Try this one way over here. Target identified. And that guy. So apparently my chief engineer knows what he's doing. And let's do this one here. Yep. Cool. 1,300 feet to this guy. Or maybe one of those over there. What about this guy over here? Get this book off here. I'll suck at this, so we'll just let the guys do it. Take a look at that there, Chief. What is it? And there's another one way over there. ID that. Alright, back to our map. So what we got? Unknown. Standard supply ship. Unknown. Modern passenger liner. That's a big ship right there. Weird. That's a destroyer.
Ship spotted.
There's another one way up there. That's probably another destroyer. Yep. Gosh dang, I wish I could get my hands on that guy. Let's just take a look. Yeah. But they're just too fast. They're too fast for us, guys. Suck. Oh, the life of a submariner. Now let's go ahead and see, he still can't report this contact in. What the hell time is it? Why can we not report this contact? That is infuriating. So, but again, even at flank speed, we're not going to catch him. Alright, so we're just going way too fast. So let's go ahead and time this guy here real quick. Back to my nav map. Yes, I hear all the whales. One. 2. 3. So 3 minutes, he is making 14 knots. 14 and a half knots. Almost 15 knots. Oh my god! Take her down. Still can't report that, yeah. That guy is way too freaking close, man. He's just not paying attention here, dude. He's 2,000 yards away. If he had spotted me, man, he'd put a shell right through us. So let's go ahead, head northwest, out of here. So actually, no, we want to go northwest. Let's go back to our patrol zone. So I don't know how to report this. You know, it's just not going to let us do it. So, because this button right here is how you report a contact. And this one, you can send a status report. Since it doesn't have a rip through it, there's nothing wrong with the radio. It just, the contact's just not showing up, and I don't know how to actually do that. So we are a little bit, oh, look at this. We got another contact out this way. Let's go pay him a visit, shall we? I'm not happy about that destroyer being right there. Okay, spooking around. Probably hurt us because we're sitting here just banging away on the surface. So let's go see what we got over here. You know, maybe it's something worth blowing up. Or maybe it's a straggler. That'd be cool. So
Yes, sir.
let's do upscope. Oh, take this down. Otherwise, we're going to burn our battery fast. Look at that. So battery at very, very fast speeds. So underneath the waters there is a terrible idea because you'll just burn it up. So, and that's something that we're going to need at some point in time. That sucks though. I really wanted that. So that's that destroyer right there. Let's see what this is. Whatever it is moving really slow, and it is also moving back towards our patrol zone.
Yes, sir.
So we're happy about that. Let's put some distance between us and those guys.
Returning to course, sir.
And we'll just keep tabs on whatever this guy is over here. Let's listen to it. What's his bearing? See, that we can see that destroyer. He's out there. Just parking it right there, saying, hey, I thought I heard something over here. So it might have sounded like a whale powered by 2 Pratt & Whitney engines. That's all it was, sir. Yep, move along. He's out there spooking around. What's his bearing? 280. Take a look at him. He's out there somewhere. So when you have like bad chop like this, sometimes it's a good idea to raise the boat up about 5 feet or so.
New deck. 5, 4.
And that way you can get the periscope up above the chop. Yep, there he is. Look at him. He's just sitting there spooking around. I bet you he heard us. I bet you he's like, what is that over there? Oh, yeah, he is heading, he is coming our way. Maybe. I can't tell which way he's facing. Yep, he's coming towards us. Or no, he might be going away. I don't know. Let's cheat and go look at the map. He's leaving. Okay, cool. Sometimes when you have a ship that's on one of those aspects like that, you can't really tell whether it's coming right for you or whether or not it's heading away. So unfortunately we can't report that contact. That sucks. Alright, so, you know, the British, you know, they're down here just sitting here on the beach drinking tea and whatnot. They got an entire invasion fleet coming towards them that they know nothing about. Because apparently the game won't let me report that contact, otherwise I would do so. So we'll just pretend that I did. Let's go see what this is over here. So, what time is it? We'll stay down for about an hour and then we'll pop up back on the surface. And, go cruise around and take a look at whatever this is over here. So he's not going to go too far with only this much time. Gosh dang it, this thing keeps reporting new contacts, and so it's going to make me start over the time compression here again and again. See, now that guy's not moving away from us anymore, so he is moving that way, which makes me suspicious. So what's his bearing? 280. Let's go listen to him. There's that destroyer leaving. This has got to be a merchant. Listen to it. It's very slow. Yeah. Let's go chase his ass then. Maybe we'll get something. Maybe we'll get something for free here. You never know. Oh no, wait, that's return to course. Oh, no, he's just doing that on the sonar thing. Let's go back this way.
Returning to course, sir.
Oh, god dang, whatever that thing is, it's kind of hauling ass now. See what you are. Maybe it might be a warship actually. Give him 3 minutes. Uno, dos, tres. Yeah, he's moving a little fast. There we go. He's moving in an interesting direction. Roughly. Oh, oh, too much zoom. There we go. God dang, he's moving pretty quick too. He's going in a different direction though, as far as I can tell. So we can chase him, especially if he's alone. Let's do one of these here, like this.
Yes, sir. Returning to course, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's see what we got. Oh my gosh, he's moving fast. What time is it? I don't think he's with that there's another contact. Oh my god, they're everywhere.
Sonar contact closing. Bearing. 2,
Oh.
5, 3.
253? 2 merchants? Yeah. Alright, dude, you're off the hook. We're going over there now. Oh my gosh, this is a lot of contacts in one small spot. Over a considerable... They're all like spread out and stuff. This is weird, man. Japanese everywhere! So watch, some of them are like British or something. So you torpedo a British ship, commit a war crime right as soon as we get out of port. Yeah. All right, let's time these guys. Let's see what we got going on here. Much slower. Uno, dos, tres, And they're moving towards us. Oh, I like this one a lot better. This one is a lot better. Yes, sir. Whoop. Oh, this one's great. Oh, you know what? There might be another convoy right behind them other guys. Who knows? That'd be interesting. So let's go mosey on up there, shall we? See what we can find. Ta-da! Just set an intercept course like this.
Returning to course, sir. Yes,
And we'll watch them. We could surface the boat. How's our battery? Battery's pretty good. But just in case these guys are either further away or, you know, when you first contact something, you just kind of get a rough idea. You actually have to spot something or follow it for a little while to kind of get that a little bit more precise. And so on the surface, speed is better, and the weather is still shitty. Very shitty. So we will just, let's go ahead and get on the surface here. And the other thing we should do, which we hadn't done before, is let's take a look at our crew. So this is our current guys right here. They're getting a little sleepy. Alright, so, and that's because they're going to change over the watch in about an hour here. Alright. But these guys are going to be on already. We might as well call all hands on deck. Except for, well, these guys are all sleeping, and I definitely don't want my deck gun crew out there on this kind of surface weather. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to call the quarters here. Alright. Just in case that destroyer is still spooking around up there, or just in case we actually run into something cool here, and that way everybody's ready. So that destroyer is still out there. How close is he? He is, I can't see, 8,000 yards? Yeah, he's far enough where I'm not too worried about him spotting us.
yes, sir.
So
Ahead's down.
and there's more than enough like ships around here. He's leaving. Where you know, he's probably got just as many contacts as I do at this point in time. Yeah, because there's another contact over here. Actually, that might have been that contact that I was tracking that was going this way. Or it might be the same destroyer. You never know. We will go up there and take a peek at him. What's his bearing? So, let's draw a line here. So he is at about 0.75. Let's go take a look at him. Get that book off there. 0.80, 0.75, yeah. That's that same destroyer. Kind of spooking around. He's not going to see us, though. Famous last words. We're not gonna worry about him. We'll put it that way. So if he decides to come back and give us some trouble, that's fine. But we're gonna chase these two guys here. So let's see, what's our bearing on these? So it's about 310, 320. Let's go take a listen here. These are merchants, also known as ducks. Sitting ducks. All right, let's get some iron on the bottom of the ocean here, shall we? So now that might sound a little cocky, but at the same point in time, these might be stragglers from the convoy. It might be a separate convoy, and we haven't picked up the escorts yet, or it just might be something completely different, you know. So that's heading some different direction or something like that. But it looks like they're heading the same direction as those guys are. Which puts us in excellent position to ruin their day. So let's go ahead and speed up the time here a little bit. So there's that destroyer still spooking around. What's he doing? He might be trying to bridge the gap between these two guys. Let's just go ahead and let's move away from him a little bit, with a little bit more gusto, or a little bit more.
Of course, sir. Yes, sir.
See, and he keeps disappearing
Sir. Yes, sir.
and then popping back up. He might be sitting stationary too. Should probably try and get another fix on these guys here in a minute or two. Just kind of drumming along at 9 knots here. Let's help him charge our battery a little bit. Although we got plenty of frickin' battery, I'm not too worried about it. We got all the gas in the world, too. Of course, this War Patrol is only like 3 days old. So, you know, like I said before, sometimes this game you start knocking them dead within 5 minutes, and other times a War Patrol takes, you know, a night or two to knock out a good chunk of it. And a lot of that is spent in silence, just, you know, kind of cruising around. Let's get a fix on these guys again here. So this guy's right on the line, so we're going to try that. See if he comes off the line over the next 3 minutes. Speed that up so you don't have to listen to the tick, 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 which is infuriating. And because, man, I'd really like to show you how the TDC works, especially using what's known as a constant bearing or a constant angle attack, which is a awesome method that I learned from one of the guys on the Subsim forums, and it works great. In fact, I think it was the guy who actually made this mod. I think we got his course basically pegged here. So there we go. 3 minutes. So, oops. Let's do it right there. So we might be off by just a skosh, but we have definitely got a good fix on this guy. 9 knots, that is much more doable. I'm very happy with that. So, but he might be right about there, which means that we will have to do a couple course adjustments here. Okay. So, but what did I mean by that? A constant bearing or a constant angle attack. All right. Let me kind of draw it out for you here a little bit, just using our own tools. So when you have a firing solution, it's trig, all right? And so see, we got a triangle here. Here's where he is. Here's where we want to hit him, and here's where we are. And so he's got a bearing from us, and then of course this is the torpedo track, the way the torpedo will go, and then of course this is his distance. Okay, and so in an attack like this, where you set it up, where you keep all the angles fixed, so you keep this one as a right angle, and then these two angles here are fixed, no matter what his distance is. Okay, now we will set this one up so that we will attack him at a fixed angle. Right now he's not at a fixed angle, as this will actually shrink. All right, but eventually we'll set it up so that we will fire our torpedoes when he hits a certain point, because we will keep this fixed, with this angle being fixed, this angle being fixed, and this angle being fixed. That way we could care less what his range is, as long as our torpedo can hit him. I mean, closer is better, of course. So, but we're not going to freak out, all right? So, and try and do all these, you know, really complicated calculations and things like that. And you can do this off any angle you like. I just prefer to do it off a 90-degree angle because my brain doesn't do trigonometry. I'm a stats guy, so I don't do trig. So I'm not going to try. All right, this destroyer is still spooking around out here. He's coming right for us, man. I'm not happy about that. God damn it. Ah, alright, put her down. Take her down. This guy is ruining our day, and it's probably because we're being a little bit too zealous here. Look at that, man, he is coming right for us. Shit. Go away, man. Go away. You didn't hear nothing. You didn't see nothing. He's going to spook these two guys off, too. If he does that. Look at him. Yeah. Oh. Stopped. Oh, now we have the contact, the radar contact, or the sonar contact. 130, let's take a listen. It's coming right for us, man. Well, all right, we got a lot of depth to work with here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take her deep. Let's do about 150. All right, because as long as we can hear those other two merchantmen over there, we can still set up a torpedo solution. And maybe this guy will come over here and listen to us for a little bit. Oh, he just stopped. Did you hear that? Yeah, that was kind of interesting. It went out and then it cut back in. I wonder if he turned or if he stopped real quick to take a listen. I don't know. But we're going too deep. We're not going to be able to use the periscope here. We're just going to have to kind of trust our instincts on this one a little bit and watch him on the map and see what he decides to do. So, and so he was coming right for us. 3,400 yards. That was way too close to be to a destroyer. So I should have noticed that. So, but then again, you know, maybe these guys, when they did the mod on the website, they said, oh, it's not a difficulty mod. All right. So, but in the base game, you know, early in the war, you don't really worry about destroyers too much unless you do something extremely stupid, like trying to attack in really shallow water, or, you know, if you just ignore them, okay, they will actually ruin your day. But really, when it comes down to it, most of the time, they're just not that big of a deal early in the war, all right? So their sonar is ass. You know, their crews aren't necessarily drilled in this kind of warfare. You know, it's just not something you really worry about unless there's a lot of them, or if that's all there is. If you come across something that's just like 2 destroyers, you leave it alone. I mean, it's not worth poking that bear, all right? But other times, it's just like, pff, okay, you're going to drop a few depth charges on me. It's really hard to hit a submarine with a depth charge, all right, unless you're very, very shallow and they can see you. Which I guarantee you he cannot do in this. So let's take a look here. And we can ask our sonar guy to kind of keep tabs on him. Follow nearest contact.
Sweeping.
Warship, he's still closing. Increasing speed and closing. So he's probably coming for us. We got a lot of depth to work with here, so let's go down deep.
Depth 199. Current
Yes, sir.
depth 120.
199.
And one of the things we can do, since we have a pretty good fix on this guy's course right here, we can just go ahead and set up a 90-degree attack while we're at it and just kind of cruise along that line. All right, and then when that destroyer decides to piss off, if he does, then we can go ahead and bring it up to periscope depth and take a look at these two guys and see what's actually there. And even if he's still cruising around, we might do that. We'll just do it really slowly. So, but here, off their track, if I've got their course kind of pegged here, this is a 90-degree. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my course marker here and just line it up with that. That's all I'm going to do. So, bam, and take this one, and ta-da! We're going to do it right like that.
Returning to course, sir.
And see how it works.
Returning to course, sir. Yes, sir.
Make it really accurate if you want on this.
Returning to course, sir. Yes, sir. 4, 6. Returning to course, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
148.
Bearing 148, medium speed, still closing. So this guy's kind of cruising around looking for us. But we just went deep, which means that he won't find us. Oh, never mind. He's dropping depth charges. They're over there. Okay. So, I don't know. He might be a little closer than we thought. Let's go upstairs. Take a look. Where are you, buddy? Oh, my God. He's really close. That orange thing is us. That's him. What are you doing? What are you doing in this kind of weather, man? You didn't hear nothing. Go on. Get out of here. Beat it. You're dropping depth charges on nothing. You got nothing.
2, 3, 6.
But that sucks, because if he actually did hear us, then everybody else around here knows about it now. Which means those transports, or whatever it was that was over here, he's going over that way. I don't think he's got a fix on us. So we'll just cruise over here and go back down to the map. We're just going to play it cool down here. See, now he's going to circle around. There's our first contact for those transports. They're moving now. And we probably blew our attack on these guys as well, because look how far they are. They're way out of range. Check this out.
Bearing 3, 4, 2.
let's see. Yeah, that's about our max range right there on a torpedo.
Bearing 26.
So, damn it, that guy screwed up our attack.
Bearing 31.
This is hard. Still out there cruising around. Maybe he's leaving now. Yeah, his range is opening up.
Bearing 3.
So, but we're not gonna make our attack. We might be able to make the second one. 3,000 yards is really freaking far though. If I got this range incorrect, and they're actually like right here though, so we could probably still pop off a shot on them. So I just don't know. This guy is not very far away.
Bearing 1.
I mean, he's a little further than he was before, so he's probably out here somewhere. We could probably pull this off. We just got to be really cool about it. Let's go ahead and bring it up. Yeah, we're going to be cool about this. We're going to come up. 3 knots is really quiet. The weather is really shitty out there, and so this is a risk worth taking, in my opinion. So periscope depth. Bring the boat up slowly. This is pretty much a blown attack, though. So maybe the second one. So, but we still got to get the boat on course here.
182. Moving away.
Which means we need to come to a course of... What is this? Oh, now we're making our turn. We're making our turn.
181.
Yeah, that's good. We're coming up slow, real slow.
Ship. Bearing 177.
Yes, I hear you, I know. Oh, shit. He's still depth charging. Alright, boys, you get baptized in fire today a little bit. So, doesn't sound too terribly close. Yeah, he's way over there. But look at him, man. He's just going bananas over here. It's like, I'm pretty sure I found a submarine. So, you might be depth charging those whales too, dude.
Bearing 1.
Well, he definitely can't hear us now, so... We will go ahead and do this. So, this is my scope up. My scope is up. We're slowly coming up here.
Bearing 16.
But our guys over here, we're going to set this for an angle of 15, like that.
62.
Let's go ahead and punch in some of this information here while we can. So, we know their speed from back here, unless it's changed. So, 950, so that's going to be about 10 knots. You always want to overestimate that just a little bit. So this is our input over here, and so we go to speed, which is this guy, and set this to 10 knots. Bam, set, and then angle on the bow. Alright, so this is his direction. Alright, and if we have our periscope pointed at 345, so that's 0 would be a perfect 90-degree angle, and so it's minus 15 degrees, and so 90 would be a perfect, like, right on 90-degree angle. Minus 15 degrees puts us at about 75 right there. Click, click.
Bearing 1.
And then the last thing is range, which we don't care about. We just set this to max. And bam, there we go. Alright, we're slowly getting there, but we're still turning. Okay, so we got to be careful. We got to actually make sure that we finish that turn before we shoot anything. The other thing we can do is our torpedo settings here. I like to set this. This one's always at 0. This is the spread. Okay, this is the torpedo depth, how deep it runs. And as a default, I usually just set this one to about 12. Okay, for each one of our fish. Alright, and so here's our 4 fish right here. So let's set that one to 12. And you got to turn them on high speed. Low speed, this attack sucks. So it's doable, but it does suck. So there we go. High speed, and this last one, 12, and high speed. And that destroyer is probably still cruising around out there somewhere, spooking around, but we're going to go up here and we're going to see if there's anything in our targets. This is if I get this is just blind, stupid-ass luck at this point in time, because that guy ruined everything. He ruined all the things, and of course we see nothing. We see absolutely nothing in front of us here.
Bearing 135.
That just means I never got a visual fix on these guys, and so I don't know if they're out there or not. Let's zoom in, take a look. Yeah, I don't see nothing. Oh, there's one right there, but they're already over my bow. So already jacked this one up. I mean, we could turn the submarine, but they are probably way too far away. So for this to be an effective attack, oh, they're not that far away, and they're running parallel. See, I could have gotten a shot at this guy if I'd come up a little bit earlier, but that's a blown attack. So that is absolutely a blown attack, especially with this dickhead spooking around right here. Look at him, he's just waiting. So all right, that would have been a good one. So I had two things slip between my fingers here tonight. You say, well, Pat, can't you chase these guys? Not at 3 knots. Not at 3 knots, I can't. So, welcome to the life of a submarine commander. Alright, where life is punctuated by, where it is basically a life of disappointment punctuated by moments of extreme excitement, of which we're going to have none today. So, let's go back to our patrol zone. We're just going to sneak this one. Why was I stopped? I must have fat fingered something there. Well, let's take the boat down. What time is it? It's only midnight. Take the boat down. Take our scope down. Let's not give that guy anything to look at. There we go. Come back to our map. Yeah, two-thirds. And we'll cruise back this way for a night or for a couple hours. And go ahead and secure from general quarters. Give the boys some rest here.
Secure from battle stations.
And just take it nice and easy. Let's go take a look at that destroyer, see what he's doing. And he's way over here. Check that out, he's firing off star shells. Looking for us. This jerk cost me a really good attack set right here. Look at you. Man, I hope you roll over and sink. I hope the ocean takes you. So, yeah, he's moving away. He's just cruising around looking for us. I mean, honestly, that was my fault. So I was a little bit zealous in my pursuit of those targets there. Running them flank speed, trying to get that contact report out, and you know, I spooked somebody. And good on that Japanese commander for actually, you know, saying, "Hey, that might be a submarine," because it was. Oh well. All right, we're gonna run up this way here. We're just about at the 2-hour mark, so we'll go ahead and take a hiatus here for a little bit. Give the machine with my 0.5% CPU usage a chance to cool off, so to speak, or more importantly for me to grab some refreshments here, because this first part of the War Patrol has been nothing but disappointment. Since December 13th, we've done 5 days at this point in time, running away from a Japanese destroyer right here. Get back to our patrol zone, where we haven't spent any time in it yet because we followed this convoy right out of it. All right. So we'll post up in here and make sure that we actually get something on the next one. At least that's the hope. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and pull the pin on this one here real quick, and then we will catch you. I'll probably be back up here in a little bit if you're interested. Otherwise, we'll catch you all in the next video. So I hope you enjoyed it. It was fun for me, even though we didn't get nothing. But that's the life of a submarine, right? So here we go. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed. Take care now. See you in a few.